My name is Dalton Ballard, and I'm going to be giving a video presentation on why listening skills are important in the business world. But first, we need to know what listening means. Listening is when you take notice of a sound or you take action of a response request or the advice you're given. A recent study showed that every 7 to 10 minutes that we spend communicating, 45% of that is spent listening. So that's almost half of the communication process we go through is spent listening. Some examples of listening skills we have are social cues, asking questions shows you're listening, demonstrating concern, reflection, etc. There's many. But some reasons why it's important in the business world are when you're starting a new job, that's one. When you're making everlasting impressions on employers and coworkers and customers. 3 is when you're communicating with customers about a product or a service. And lastly is when you're in brainstorming groups. But first, let's go why it's important when you're starting a new job. When you're in the interview process, your employer is talking to you about the job, he's talking about your resume, he's asking you questions, and you're going to need to be able to respond to that. So listening skills can help you with that. So when you can ask questions. If you're listening, you can reflect on what he said, and then if you use your eye contact, the social cues, then that shows that you have good listening skills, and that really helps in the interview process. Another way it's important in getting a new job is when you're in the training process. When you're in the training process, either a coworker or the manager is going to train you to do that job. They're going to be teaching you all these tactics and ways you need to do things, how to do this and how to do that. And you're going to be able to listen to that. You're going to need to be able to take all that information you learned and apply it to your work. So you're going to be able to listen and ask questions about your job. And that really shows that you're interested in the job. That leads me to my next point. If you have good listening skills, that can make everlasting impressions on your employers, your managers, and your coworkers, and even customers. When you show that you're listening, then that shows you're interested in what they're saying. That shows you really care about what they're saying, and it shows what you really want to learn. What they're from their advice and from their recent projects and stuff. That really helps out with relationships. So those relationships can carry you far in the future when you're going to get a new job or you're up for a promotion. If you have good relationships with them, then you can get the promotion and you can get a new job. Because employers look at that and they see that as an important skill to have when you're in the business world. Another thing is when listening skills are very important when you are communicating with customers. Because if you're selling a product or a service, then the customer is going to want to know about it. They're going to ask questions, and you're going to need to respond to those questions appropriately, and you have to make sure that it's what they asked. So if they asked you about a cell phone, you're going to need to be able to tell them what kind of cell phone it is, what kind of function it does, and all that stuff. But if they have a complaint, another thing is if they have a complaint, then you need to be able to respond to that complaint appropriately. So you need to listen to all their social cues. You need to know what the problem is. So listening skills can really help you out with that. And lastly, in brainstorming groups, that's one of the main important keys when you're in the business world and you have coworkers. You're all in a big group and you're trying to brainstorm for a giant project you're working on. You're going to be able to listen to everybody else's ideas, and you're going to need to apply it to come up with a solution for that project. So listening skills are very important when it comes to that. So in conclusion, everything that listening skills have can be applied, and you can gain assets from listening skills. So for example, everything I've just said you can gain an asset. So in a new job, you can gain a new job by having listening skills. You can gain relationships with lasting impressions with listening skills. You can communicate with customers well, and you sell your product and service, and you can finish group projects and brainstorming exercises, and you can go places with listening skills, and they're very important. I hope you enjoyed.